The New York Mets could have some huge problems and Max Scherzer speaks out. So we're going to cover everything about that in today's video. But first, just before we get into it, there's a big chance you can win $100 from us at PITCHZONE, so subscribe to the channel and more on that later in the video. In the recent MLB offseason, the New York Mets lost one of their star pitchers, Jacob deGrom, to the Texas Rangers. However, the Mets owner, Steve Cohen, wasted no time in finding a suitable replacement in the form of Justin Verlander. Verlander, a two-time Cy Young Award winner, had previously played for the Houston Astros and was still throwing hard and nasty, making him an excellent addition to the Mets pitching roster. Despite being in his age 40 season, Verlander remained as efficient as ever, defying age and proving his worth. His addition to the Mets' already stacked roster was a sign of Cohen's commitment to building a championship-caliber team, and Mets fans were ecstatic about their chances in the upcoming season. What's even more exciting for the Mets and their fans is that Verlander is reuniting with a former teammate of his back when he was in Detroit, Max Scherzer. Scherzer signed a massive short-term contract with the Mets in the offseason leading into 2022, and his addition helped lead the team to the postseason. With Scherzer and Verlander now on the same team again, it seemed like the Mets were on track for a bright future. However, there was just one small problem. Scherzer and Verlander were never really the best of friends. While their past may have been somewhat rocky, it's worth noting that both Scherzer and Verlander are professionals who have played on multiple teams and worked with various players over the years. Despite any potential friction, they have always managed to put their differences aside for the good of the team. With the Mets looking to make a serious run at a championship in the upcoming season, Scherzer and Verlander will undoubtedly put any past animosity behind them and focus on helping the team achieve their goals. As the saying goes, winning cures all, and if the Mets are successful, any lingering issues between the two players will likely be forgotten. In this video, I'm going to go over the timeline and events along with what has been said over the years that implies that these two have never really loved each other and how it will affect today's Mets. During their time together as teammates on the Detroit Tigers, Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer had a complex relationship that was characterized by their competitive nature and differences in personality. In an interview, former Tigers catcher Gerald Laird described the two pitchers as real big drama queens, stating that they often got into arguments and disagreements that would escalate to the point of getting at each other's throats in the clubhouse. However, he also recognized that their competitive drive was a positive force that helped to push each other to become the Hall of Fame pitchers they are today. Other former Tigers catcher Alex Avila also spoke about the dynamic between Verlander and Scherzer, noting that they both had type A personalities and were driven to succeed. He stated that while they would sometimes attack each other, it was never out of dislike, but rather a difference of opinion or approach to the game. Avila believed that their differing styles actually worked well together and led to a fruitful collaboration on the field. Former Tigers general manager Dave Dombrowski offered his perspective on the relationship between the two pitchers, describing their interactions as competitive rather than social or friendly. He noted that while they butted heads at times, it was never a bad thing and was always from a competitive perspective. Dombrowski didn't see any issues with their relationship and believed that their competitive drive was ultimately a positive force for the team. Catcher James McCann, who was also around the two pitchers during their time on the Tigers, observed that they both had a natural tendency to compete with each other. According to McCann, this competitive drive was ingrained in their DNA and a fundamental aspect of their personality. He believed that regardless of the situation, if you put both Verlander and Scherzer in a locker room together, they would inevitably compete with each other. As for how this relationship will impact the New York Mets, where both Verlander and Scherzer will be playing together once again, Scherzer has stated that they are both at a different stage of their lives and career. He doesn't believe that their previous dynamic will have any negative impact on their current team, especially given that both men have grown as individuals and are now husbands and fathers. Scherzer is confident that their competitive drive will only serve to make the team stronger and more successful on the field. Justin Verlander echoed a similar sentiment, suggesting that any potential competitive tension between him and Max Scherzer may arise on the field, but is unlikely to affect the dynamic in the Mets clubhouse. Despite their past rivalry, both players have matured and become more established in their careers since their time as teammates, making it unlikely that their previous friction will resurface as an issue. It's interesting to note that there may have been some underlying tension between the two that went unnoticed by fans and the media, as this information about their history came as a surprise to some. Nevertheless, it seems that Verlander and Scherzer are both professionals who are focused on helping the Mets succeed and will likely put any personal differences aside in order to achieve that goal. Only time will tell how their dynamic will play out, but fans are certainly excited to see what these two talented pitchers can accomplish together on the field. As I hinted at the beginning of the video, we're currently giving away $100 to the fans of Pitch Zone. All you need to do to enter is like, comment what you think of the relationship between Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander, and most importantly, subscribe. I will be selecting 2 random winners from the Pitch Zone subscriber list once I reach 1,000 subscribers, so make sure you share this with your fellow MLB fans so you can increase your chances of winning sooner.